You're watching Monty TV. I'm Jackie Karsh, sitting down now with Dave Cole. He's the CTO of workflow automation platform Formstack. Dave, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having me.
What exactly is Formstack doing?
Yeah, so Formstack is helping customers really bridge with our new platform Streamline, taking them from a place to where they can't unlock their data. They can't use their data in something as simple as a patient intake form. When you show up at the doctor's office and you have to fill out those forms every time and you're thinking, why don't you know me? Being able to allow a hospital, an urgent care center to harness that data safely, which is one of the big blockers. So a lot of what we're doing is we're making sure that those processes have the data safety that they need to really make it seamless for those customers. And today, what that'll look like is harnessing that data. So you come in and they're like, oh my God, they know me. They found Jackie. This is amazing. I used to have to fill this out. Now I don't. It's 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes of, cramped up fingers. But where that's going is a place where you come in and likely authenticate with biometrics, with a finger, maybe with an eye scan, who knows, whatever's appropriate. And you do things by voice, and it happens literally in seconds that's in an effortless fashion. So we're really at this bridge point where we're moving from paper and fax machines and pain to AI assisted and easier. We'll end up in a place where it's largely invisible.
I'm not a dinosaur or a Luddite. I am very good at adapting to new technologies, but not everybody is. And especially if you're catering to businesses, how do you get them to adapt or adopt your new technology?
100%. Our customers are educational institutions, they're doctors' offices. You can't just jump forward into the future where it's AI all the things. Like some people aren't going to be able to spell ChatGPT a year from now. That needs to be okay. So it's really about, for a company like us, of meeting our customers where they're at and helping our customers meet our customers where they're at. If they need a digital form, great. But if they're willing and able to graduate up to doing voice-based workflow, that's part of the trick here, is making sure not just that we charge into the future, but we have a bridge for people no matter what level they're at, whether they're much more comfortable using their phone or whether they're capable to use their voice at some point in the future.
There is so much excitement around AI and its capabilities. How do you see it affecting the workflow automation space?
It's going to fundamentally transform it. We've already talked about the pain from the customer's perspective of having to fill out the information and knowing their information. The first thing we're going to see is a huge emphasis on data, because as much as we talk about AI has to have fuel. That fuel is data. So if it doesn't have the data and it can't unlock the data for safety and trust reasons, the AI is not going to be very smart. It's going to be if you've ever called into a call center. You're like, oh my God, I just spent 5 minutes of my life with all this frustration that I can't get back. So the data is the secret to unlocking it. So we're going to see a huge emphasis, which we've started with, and many others will, of making sure the data is safe. And the AI can harness it in a way that respects the trust and privacy of the patients in some of our most sensitive areas, like healthcare data, or personal data for a college admission or for a loan. Where it's going to go from there is a lot of automated decision making. So in places where there used to be a human who had to review everything, there'll still be a human review in some instances, but a lot of that is going to be frictionless. It's going to be seamless. The easy stuff will automatically be made by PhD level reasoning from AI. And then where we used to have dashboards, you look and you see, oh, there's the bar chart, the pie chart, and so forth, they'll go away. We're going to see insights from the data populated to business users, to people running educational institutions, to urgent care centers, where it says, hey, don't look at the dashboard. Here's an insight from your data itself. Here's a trend. Here's some recommendations for what you could do to make it even easier for patients, or to generate a little more revenue, or move patients through the urgent care center faster.
Whenever we talk about data, we have to talk about security. How do you navigate through that?
Yeah, it really starts with, as an organization like Formstack, what we try and do is not hold the customer's data at all. And there's a concept called zero data retention, which is we have to handle your data safely. We have to make it safe. That starts with knowing your data, an old concept called data classification. It used to be manual, where you used to go in and say, this is patient health information, this is a social security number. That can be totally automated now using AI. If we know what the data is, then we can handle it appropriately, especially if we know that it's sensitive. So making data safety just part of the process, part of the workflow, as opposed to something extra, is really what we've been working on. On top of that, if you know what the data is and you know that it can be handled in a safe way throughout your process, then you can automate compliance reporting, which is a pain in the neck at the end of it for things like HIPAA, or if you're handling credit card information, something called PCI DSS. So a lot of it is knowing what the data is, making sure it's handled in the right way, having really strong guardrails for the data, and then automating the painful parts at the end of compliance reporting. If we can do all of that and not retain the customer's data, flush it out at the end, don't want it, don't need it, we think at that point it can be safe for literally any organization to harness their data and make it a key part of their workflow so you don't have to fill out forms. So it can be done over voice instead of over an iPad, or even worse, over paper.